Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video we will take a look on the MMO sandbox game Boundel that is currently in development by Sarah, a member of the gaming community Universal Gamers Federation that I'm part of. Sarah received this game a while ago when the original developers kind of left the game, but they wanted it to keep being developed and worked on. So Sarah got control of the codes and has been working on this game by herself. And this is what it looks like when you get on. You have your characters. And I have been playing on this server and game for a while to help Sarah as well as learn the game, and I've reached level 130. In Boundel there is no level cap. You can basically keep on leveling how much you want, and by that also get all the skills to max. As a new player, you will only be able to have one character, while staff members such as moderators and up will have access to two, and that's mostly because we have not really worked out all the kinks of multiple characters yet, so it's still a little buggy feature. So this is what you will see when you have created a character and before you get into the world. It shows you a preview of your character with the gear and weapon you had on you when you logged off. Let's go into the game and take a look. And once you spawn in with a new character, this is where you will start, in High Castle. In High Castle you find all the merchants you need to get armor, weapons, potions, mounts and Misk's item. You will also find AIs that will offer you quests, and they are marked with an exclamation mark. So start by accepting some of the quests that you feel like you can have. You just double click on the character and you can read the description of the quest, what you need to do, what you need to gather, and what kind of rewards you will get. Since there is no level cap in this game, you can max out all of your skills and abilities in time. So if you're as a new player go into, let's say, dark magic, you see a skill you want to be able to use, you can actually use that skill as long as you have enough mana or stamina depending on what skill it is. Just assign a hotkey for the skill and you're ready to get going. Once you have assigned a few skills and accepted a few quests, you can start to leave the city. In this direction I'm flying right now, the AIs are set to not attack players of a certain level. And as you can see now, I had a world save, which happens once every 20 minutes. And if you're unlucky, you will have the bug that I have right now, where you see no AIs but they still exist. And it can kill you if you're unlucky, but this time I was lucky and actually apparently was still on the bridge. And you can see the AIs in the distance this time. So that is one bug that we know about and is working on. So this is the area that I said that the AIs won't attack you in if you're below a certain level. And unfortunately we had Satan that you will try to stay away from in the early game and even slightly into the later game, because he will kill you with one attack almost no matter what level you are. The dragon I'm riding is currently the only mount that has an attack of its own. All of the mounts are just mounts. They give you some sort of bonus and you are the only one who's attacking. The fire dragon has one attack of its own, Fire Breath. And it's pretty fun. Usually there ain't this much lag in the game. We usually have to restart the servers a few times a week to prevent this kind of lag. So don't worry, if you play it might be some lag, but not like this and not all the time. And here we have the nice Fire Breath. If you attack enemies, you will get some sort of negative effects if you get hit by curses, poison, or you get stunned. And they are displayed in the bottom left of the screen. Stun makes you walk slower, poison is poison damage, and curse can lower your skills for a few minutes. But it usually just resolves within a few seconds. And once it's over, as you can see on the screen, my character will just start back to running at normal speed. One of my favorite skills in Boundel, except archery, is actually taming. And taming means that you can take control over any enemies that you want. All you need is a taming staff and the taming skill. So you equip the taming staff and you put a hotkey to the tame skill. You hover over the enemy you want to tame, make sure the circle is blue. Sometimes it might not let you tame in that area. You try again, and you tame the enemy. A tamed enemy will stay with you until it dies, or until you log off with the creature outside. So if I was to log off now, my beloved skeleton would despawn, and you will not see him again unless you're lucky and it bugs out, so he would be there the next time you log on. To prevent them from disappearing, you will have to use Evil Shrink to basically shrink the item and put it in your pocket. And then he will be safe, he will stay there until you drop it or until you give it away. So in your inventory then he will end up at the bottom as a shrink potion. And there you see. Shrinked Skeleton Warrior. To use it again, you just click on him once and he will pop out right off the bottle. You can have up to 50 followers at a time, and they will all stay with you, fight by themselves, use their own mana and stamina attacks until they die or you put them back in your pocket. So for example, I'm just taking out a few Dark Knights I have tons of them for some reason. I tamed a bunch of them. And they will follow me around until I put them in my pocket or they die. So then just use Evil Shrink, or in this case I accidentally used Pet Shrink to put them in your pocket. Pet Shrink is only for mounts, and you can only have one mount at the time out. So in taming you have these three skills. Taming, which basically means the higher taming you have, the more enemies, the stronger enemies you can tame by not having to injure them too bad. Evil Shrink, the higher level, the easier it is to put them in your pocket, and the same goes for Pet Shrink. The higher Pet Shrink, the higher level pet you can put in your pocket. And Pet Shrink, as you can see, don't work. It also gives you a notification that these creatures are evil, you need Evil Shrink. And since my Evil Shrink ain't that high, it can take a few attempts to put your tamed creature in your pocket. And each time you fail, they lose some HP. And the lower HP, the higher chance you have of putting it in your pocket. Once again, there is usually not this much rubber banding. It's just since we haven't restarted the server in a while. But in Boundel, there is two ways of teleportation. You open up your runebook by pressing O, you mark a location, and it will permanently mark that location for teleportation. And in Boundel there is two ways of teleportation, as I will show you. You have gate travel and recall. Gate travel will open a rift that you and anyone else can use for the duration of the spell, that I think is 40 or 60 seconds. And the gate opens in two ends. And apparently I got stuck in this statue. Let's see if we can get out of it. There we go. And the rift works on both ends. So if you have a friend in one location that you want to teleport to you, you can open a rift and he will see the rift on his end, interact with it, and be teleported to where the opposite end of the rift is. The second way of teleportation is recall, and recall only is for you and it works instantly. And that's the two ways of teleportation in Boundel, since there is no fast travel except your own teleportation runes. You can also put a name on on your teleportation area so you know where you teleport to. Once you feel comfortable, you can go to these areas that you will see in the distance marked as a green light. Those green lights indicate that there is a boss in that area. So while traveling the map, the first times you see these boss lights, you have to go there yourself and put up runes so you can fast travel when you see the boss. Since I've been playing for a while, I know that that is about the hill area where I have one of my runes, so I just click on the teleportation rune I have in that area and I recall. And I was right, this is the hill area and I see that there's a boss over there. I see some green mist, I see the green light, so I start heading for it. And since I know the area, I know that there is a very high chance that the boss in that area is Squat, that is level 25,261, and I can't kill him alone. Basically, if he sneezes on me, I'm dead, and not from Corona. So let's fly over there and take a look if it's him, or if it's a giant that also may spawn in that area. And it's wait. So I will be moving away from this area and head to the next boss area that I see is available, and I will show you that boss instead. If I had been alone on this server, the area where we are at now would be full of ice beasts and ice dragons. So this is one of my favorite spots in the game to grind for levels before I hit level 100. And here you see the boss, the green mist, the green light, and they give way more XP than normal mobs, as well as they drop items. So here we go and kill him. Poor little dragon. And the items spawn on the ground. Since I'm on a flying beast, sometimes it's a bit tricky to get the loot, it doesn't want to pick it up. Then basically what you do is that you dismount and you pick up the gear. You don't pick up coins as you pick up loot, the coins you have to ride or walk over and wait for it to be picked up. And here we have the other players online, and I can guess from the mount he has and the gear that it's Boundel, who is one of the Danish players. And as you can see, I have a bit of a problem to pick up the coins. It doesn't really want to say that I'm walking over it, so it takes a few attempts sometimes to pick up the gold. Sometimes you have to stand on it for a few seconds, sometimes you have to just walk back and forward, run back and forward in an attempt to pick it up. And there we go, I picked up the gold, and we're heading back to the city to do some other stuff. In Boundel, you also have summoning, and between summoning and taming, summoning is a little bit easier, but it's also limited. In summoning, you need a specific weapon depending on what creature you wish to spawn in, and it costs you a soul gem. Soul gems you get by killing magic skeletons that will 9 out of 10 times drop a soul gem. So you assign what creature you want to summon to your hotbar. In my case I took summoning a guard, which requires a longsword, so I equip my longsword and I use the summoning skill. Since the guard requires stamina to be summoned, the more points I put into stamina, the higher level the guard would be. Since I have most of my points in stamina, the level of my guard is 25. If I level up the skill, I think it will increase his level as well, and the durability that he exists. Right now he exists for over 400 seconds. Instead of 40 seconds in the beginning, we cranked it up to 400. So you can be sure that he was useful. And he will remain for that time or until he dies. In this game you also have durability on your gear. Every time you die, you lose 1 durability on everything you have in your inventory that has a durability. You can't repair your armor, you can't repair your weapons, but right now you don't really have to, since it drops quite frequently when you kill bosses. If you head over to a crafting station, you can craft everything from the beginning. The only difference between crafting things in the beginning when you have no skills in the crafting tree is that for most items you will have a very low chance of success. But if you have the materials, you can just spam craft that item and maybe you get lucky to make it. I've put about 10-20 points in blacksmithing, and instead of 1% on the quote-unquote endgame content, I have 2%. But I also have a lot of materials in my bank, so I could just spam click and hopefully craft it. But it doesn't really... You don't really need crafting in the beginning and in the current state of the game, since it drops armor and weapons quite frequently when you kill the bosses. And the durability is quite high for those kinds of items. The banking system is still in development, and as you can see in my bank, I have several items of the same name, but different quantities. And if I take them out from the bank, they will get in those quantities in my inventory. It doesn't really stack items automatically, which will be fixed in the future, so right now your bank will be a mess. And as you can see, I'm also filthy rich, so as I said earlier in the video, you don't really need to care that much about your gold, because you will have more than enough in the end. You can store up to 9,000 in weight in your bank, which is a lot. You know, that might be too much, but also if you have 2 characters as a moderator, admin or higher, you will have a shared bank account. You can also check your guild, and you can see who's online, who's offline, and what rank they have. So there we saw again for Rilvede, and he's still online, killing bosses, grinding up towards 150. We also have a market where we can see items for sale, from who and for how much. And as you can see, Janik likes to sell children. Might raise some red flags, but they are tameable, which is a bit fun, but also a bit creepy. It can lead to some very weird conversations and lines. But as a new player who wants to go into taming, kids are actually easy to tame, and if you tame child number 4, they're named 1 to 4, he is actually buffed so that he got more attack, more defense, and is way faster than the other child. So as a new player, he's the one to tame when he tries to level up. There is also a leaderboard, and the first time you open them, you might just see 3 blank squares. Close it, wait a few seconds, open it again, and you can see the leaderboards. The first leaderboard, I have no idea what that means. The kill leaderboard is for PvP kills, and the death kills is for how many times you've died. Sarah, who is number 1 on PvP kills, is the owner of the game. And she has been trying a lot of things on a lot of different people. On the deaths, and of course on kills, most of those people do no longer play, since this game has been out since 2017. But it has also been idle for a very long time, until recently when Sarah got ownership of the game. So on the death list we see Janik, who actually made the top list, not top list, but from the current player base he got the top list of most player deaths. Congratulations Janik, I will give you a cookie next time I talk to you. And now, who are Universal Gamers Federation? It's the gaming community that I'm part of. I joined with UGF when I was playing Conqueror's Blade. Me and my friends had made a guild, we started playing, and I had been in contact with some of the UGF members earlier. I had problem getting members, and the guys from UGF that was intended to play never joined. So we merged with them, we took my clan and just made it into UGF, and I became a staff member. We still have a good team in Conqueror's Blade, but I do not longer play that game. So on this website you can join our Discord, you can read about us, see our charter, see our server rules, and see what kinds of games we're playing, and just read our forums. If you go to About Us and scroll down, you will see a roster of our current staff members, and you will be able to read a little about us. If you have watched my previous videos, you will know who I am. You will most likely see me in the picture, and if you click on my name, which is Landry, since that's my Discord name, you will read a little about me. If you click on Move On, you will see a little what he has been writing about himself, and so on. So if you join our Discord, just PM one of us and we will be happy to help you with whatever questions you have. If you want to join Boundel, just download the game on Steam, it's free. join our Discord and we will help you out. All new players to Boundel gets 1000 Boundel gold, a mount, and 1 or 2 shrink potions with a random creature that will help you fight at the beginning. And especially in these times, stay healthy, stay prepared, and stay alive.